Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills in order to help you level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the world of emotional intelligence, and we're going to be talking about fear. By the way, if you're new to this channel, be sure to stay updated with the latest videos on soft skills by hitting that subscribe button right down below, hit that bell notification. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for supporting me. Go on and help me out more by dropping that like right on below. With communication skills, it's one of the toughest skills to develop because any kind of skills out there, there's a certain period where you're getting embarrassed more than your fellow peers. And this is the process of learning. But what makes communication skills different is that you're having this embarrassment often in front of other people. If you're learning skateboarding, for example, for a long period of time, you could do it by yourself where others aren't watching you stumble and fall. But with communication skills, eventually there's going to be eyes on you at one point or another. Maybe it's with your writing, maybe it's with your YouTube videos, maybe it's with your speeches. And during those moments, every now and then, you're going to feel a sudden surge of fear. And this surge of fear is going to hit you so hard where it's causing you to act out of character. Your entire life, you've been preparing for this particular moment. You understand this field so well. You wrote research papers on it. But this sudden surge of fear is causing you to behave like some sort of novice. Do you throw in the towel? Not quite. The first thing that we need to understand is that there's two different kinds of fear. Level 1 and level 2. Level 1 fear is something that can actually kill you, while level 2 fear is not something that can actually kill you. The reason that people often never overcome their comfort zone is because they're confusing a level 2 fear as a level 1 fear. Let me give you an example real quick. Let's imagine that you have a flight later today and one of your friends is supposed to pick you up and drop you off. By the time he shows up, you notice that the two tires on the back of his car are flat. You bring this to his awareness and he's like, yo man, quit being such a scaredy cat. There's nothing to fear. I'm sure it'll take us from here to the airport. You get into the passenger seat, but now you start to feel this sudden surge of fear. Is this fear justified or not? Of course it is. Why would you even have to second guess that? This idiot may start swerving out of the blue moon and your life is in danger. Get out of the car. In this case, you were dealt with a level 1 fear and you were able to make the right decision by reacting to that fear. On the other hand, if you get called on stage to speak in front of your colleagues, is that something that can take away your life? Is there potential for it? Not really. It's actually what I call a level 2 fear. And this is what we need to do. That's the purpose of today's video. We're going to be focusing more on level 2 rather than level 1. I am not going to be talking about how you are going to swim with sharks, fight with a tiger, or jump off of a plane. That's adrenaline junkie kind of stuff, and that's not for me. Let's rewire our perception for level 2s. And the way that we're going to do that is by number 1, accepting the fear. Accepting your emotions will allow you to feel human. Suppressing your emotions will transform you into a monster. One of the worst things that you want to do, especially in the field of emotional intelligence, is try to suppress anything. In my book, Level Up Mentality, part 5 discusses working with your emotions. And the way that we're going to work with our emotions is through acceptance. Right before you're feeling that fear, and during the process of feeling that fear, you want to acknowledge it and get your inner Dave Chappelle on. What this means is not only do you acknowledge it, you turn this into a funny moment. So let's say you have to speak in front of 250 colleagues. The host is calling your name. You understand that you're about to be called up any second, and you're feeling fear. You say something like, "What's good, Fear? I've been expecting you. Take a seat." This is a small joke where you're ironically welcoming in fear, but this is good because now you're starting to confuse the intellect. The intellect is like, "You're not scared?" You're like, "Nah, man, I'm good. Go on and have a seat. I've been waiting for you." And what this does is that the fear started off here, but slowly it starts to dissipate more and more and more and more. It's very similar to if someone is yelling at you and you're like, "Well, go on. I feel like you have more stuff to say." They're going to start off here, but the more they yell, the more it's going to dissipate more and more and more and more. And they're going to be like, "All right, I'm done." Boom. Now the fear has been mitigated through acceptance. This is method number 1. Method number 2 is what I call body meditations. I made an in-detail video about it. I'll go ahead and link it in the description box, or if you're watching it from laptop or phone, you can just check the link here. Or if you're watching from TV, just type in body meditations, Armani Talks. The whole purpose of body meditation is to turn mind into matter. All kinds of meditations are like that. But the reason that body meditations is powerful is because you start to understand how your body works. I would say 2 years ago, I had to give a best man speech at my brother's wedding, which is on my YouTube channel. So if you go searching for it, you'll find the video. And once again, I'll do the little linking stuff. But you'll notice that as I'm getting called on stage, I'm looking down and I'm feeling the feelings in my body. A couple of years back, these same feelings would cause me anxiety. It would make me nervous, especially speaking in front of 10 people or any people for that matter. But on this particular best man speech, I would have it no other way. These feelings were therapeutic. It felt so good, and I was getting ready. I was getting excited. And what was starting to happen was the fruits of body meditation, where the feelings are still the same, but the perception is now geared towards our favor. So in this scenario, whenever you are feeling fear, rather than trying to suppress it, what we want to do is we want to feel the feelings within our body. Where exactly do you notice the tensions? Is it on your head, your ears, your shoulders? Just bring awareness to it, and you'll notice that these feelings of fear are actually turning into energy, which will help color your speech. That's method number 2. And method number 3 is the final one. I would say this is one of my favorites, but then again, this is only a list of 3, so all of them are my favorites. The third one is to raise your chin and smirk. The reason that we want to raise our chin is because raising our chin brings us back into the present moment. Try it out for yourself. The next time you're feeling nervous, anxious, or scared, just raise your chin a little bit more. You'll immediately feel a change in perception. A part of you feels way better than you felt when your chin was drooping. And the smirk is pretty self-explanatory because smirking is a more subtle, cool way of smiling where you may not always feel comfortable smiling too much, but smirking is easier to incorporate. And both of these, smiling, smirking, engages endorphins in your brain, which are feel-good chemicals. Body influences the mind influences the body. So a combination of raising the chin and smirking allows you to feel much more composed. And here's a pro tip. If you got some sort of speech coming up, don't just practice your speech, practice your smirking game as well. See how you can smirk while looking cool at the same time. So these are 3 practical ways on how you can control fear, level 2 fear that is, in order to become a much more clear communicator. If you want more practical tips like this into emotional intelligence, how to control the mind, and how to build your ideas so you can present your ideas with confidence, be sure to check out the Level Up Mentality, which is currently available on ebook format, Kindle format, paperback format, and audiobook format. I'm going to link all the links for Level Up Mentality in the description box right on below, or go on ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I will catch you on the next episode.